That's a good thing. Like you guys like at least practiced it and like send it to us so that we know like how this is how like usually will the learning process will go. So if you forgot something like we can at least like we can discuss more things. Will like when we discuss things, you learn more new things and like you that way like will be easy to go on a learning process. So the basic first thing is like on a normal join like we have if we have like three tables on the from clause and on the where clause we need to have n minus 1 joins. That means like 3 minus 1. So that means like at least you should have the two joins other than like other conditions like where employed equal to 100 or something like that. So basically we should have the we should have two joins. And so do you guys have any questions?
Actually, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why we are using like we are representing the whole table with a dot something like.
Right. So that's called the alias. Like basically what suppose if suppose we take it out this one. Okay,
Mhm.
we are not giving any alias.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't like so we are taking out all the alias.
Mhm.
Okay, so even here like we will take it out. So instead of going on a like full thing like okay, that will go on this one as well. So when you try this one like it will give like column ambiguously defined. This is the common error. This is like regular error we will get it. Column ambiguously defined. So basically what happened here is, so we have department ID on both tables, employee table and department table. Correct, right? You guys are following?
Yes.
So we
Yes.
have, yeah. Yeah, so we have department ID on both tables, on employee table as well as the department table. So the Oracle like is confusing like where I should take this department ID from. I should take from employee ID or department ID. So to avoid that situation, what you have to do is you have to write the whole table name, like employees dot department ID and departments
Some
dot.
type. Mhm.
So same way, like location ID also we have on the two tables. So department dot location ID equal to. So when you say now, we will get the error on the employee ID because it has I don't think so. Employee ID has two different. So we are getting query. So I copied and pasted. Usually, like what you have to do is you have to type the whole table name. So
Yep.
instead of that, like to simplifying that one, so just give like sometimes you have a table of 30 characters. Means Oracle allows table can have 30 characters. So what happen is like if you have a 30 number character, so you have to type the whole thing. You have to type the whole table name. Instead of that, very simple thing is you just give a like small like the alias name for the same table name. That way we can like eliminate the pain on like typing the whole table name. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like this how like we know like what's so why we are using just very small thing like but it's a very big thing to know it. Otherwise, like it's it's there in our minds, but we don't know why we are using, and it's get confusing for us. Like why we are doing this one. Okay. Any other questions?
No, and I have a small request.
No, go on.
Uh, just give us per day like 2 to 3 assignments for us so that we'll definitely practice on that and we'll send it to you.
Sure. I'll make sure like give me a second actually.
Mhm.
So so do you have, other than that, do you guys have any questions?
No?
Okay, so I'm muting myself, I mean, your voice, so that you guys have unmute yourself, so that I can when I'm stopping the things, and I can ask you, if I have questions, I'll ask you guys. Okay, because your voice is echoing sometimes. That's the reason I'll mute myself, off audio. Okay, the next thing is the right outer join. Okay, the right outer join is basically this is second most important join on the join type. So basically, if you have a table and you want to get all the records from one of the tables and display only as match a record on from other table. So when you join so when you join two tables, basically what will happen is, so whenever there is a matching records, then only all the records will be, those records will be displayed. So, but in certain scenarios, what will happen is, you want to retrieve only one side of the table, if say employee. So even though if there is no matching record on the department table, I want to get all the employee details, because we might have a situation where one employee, because he joined new, but we haven't him assigned a department to him. So for some reason we don't have a department for this guy, so we don't have department, but in the employee list he's still an employee, because we are paying his salary, and we hired him, and we are paying him salary every month. So even though he doesn't have the department, we we want to get the means we want get that result as well. So in that scenario, we will go for a right outer join. So basically the simple thing is, the syntax is very simple. Select column from table names, and this is what we do usually. And on and the where clause, basically the on the where clause, so what you do is, you write up a right outer join, or you write a plus symbol. I'll show you, in an example, in a example, how exactly we are going to write. So this is the visualization. So what it does is, um, are you guys able to see my the mouse is moving on the screen?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay. Okay. So basically what's going on here is, we have a table 1 and table 2. Basically I want to get all the data from the table 2 and only matching record from the table 1. Then I use the right outer join. So right outer join means I will returning all the records from the right hand table, all the records, even though there is no matching records. But on the left hand side table, I want to get only the match records. That's about the right outer join. And the second thing is the left outer join. Left outer join functionality is the same, but only thing is, you want to return all the records from the left hand side of the table and only matching record from the right hand side of the table. Then we go for the left outer join. So here is also the simple thing, if you're going for a left outer join. So I want to retrieve all the tables from the left hand side of the table, only matching records from the right hand side of the table. So the matching records between the table 1 and table 2 is only this part, right? Only the other part. So we are getting from this, if you write a left outer join query, we are getting this information. Is that clear? We'll do a practice session, but in theoretical prod, if you guys have any questions, or you have to present yourself, when there is an interview, but that's fine, but just you have to be prepared, right? So that way, you, if you guys have any theoretical, also, it's most important. So let me know, if you guys are following that, or if you guys have any questions on that one. Okay, and next one is the full outer join. As we discussed, we have four joins. One is the equal join, second one is the left outer join, and third one is the right outer join, and the full outer join. Full outer join is also basically the simple. So if you are not putting any joints on that one, then it is become a full outer join. So we have two tables, table 1 and table 2. You want to retrieve all the columns from these two tables, like basically, then we will write up a full outer join. The syntax is simple. I will show you like the syntax, but basically this is a visualization. In some scenarios we go for this as well, like even though there is no matching records from table 1, and even it will retrieve all the matched records as well as the unmatched records, but we will get a Cartesian records. So what happens is, like table 1, if you in the table 1 if you have 3 records, on table 2 if you have 2 records, like we will get like we will get 3 factorial. 3 factorial is like almost like are you guys able to like listen? I mean, is that my voice clear, or are you guys having trouble? Is that clear,
It's
Rajnish?
clear.
Okay. So
Yes, yes, it's clear.
okay. So if like if you want to retrieve on the both hand sides of the table, like if you want to get all the records from table 1 and all the records from table 2, then we go for a full outer join. So basically, like if you have 3 records on the left hand side table and 2 records on the right hand side table, then we will be getting all the records, like we will be getting 3 factorial. 3 factorial is, which is like almost like 6 records. That's about the Cartesian join. So we have 4 joins. Again, like we will recap the session before going to the practice session. So we have 4 joins: inner join, equi-join, right outer join, and left outer join. We have all these 4 joins. So inner join, equi-join, means we will call it as a equi-join. Inner join and equi-join are same. And second thing is the right outer join, and the third one is the left outer join, and we have like Cartesian product, which is like no joins as well. So coming to, so we were practicing like we were practicing about like equi-join, because we have a equal in between. We were practicing equal join, or like people will call like inner join as well, because these two this is the inner join between the two tables, so people will call this as a inner join as well. Okay, so what we do, so we will practice right outer join. So we have employee table and we have department table. Let's suppose, as we explained, like we will see like anyone does not have a department. Where is null. So is null, what does this is null functionality does is, so basically if there is nothing, no value stored on the department ID, it will retrieve all the records which does have the like is null value. So we have only is null is like only one value. Suppose we have is not, just explaining one more thing as the situation comes. So we have one more like situation where like if you want to retrieve all the columns which has the data, we want to retrieve all the all the from a column we want to retrieve all the all the data which has the value on that one. So what we do is, is not null. So if you run this query, so we'll get all like all the, so we get like all the records, like all the data. So if you see in none of the records, if you see none of the records has the means null value, or like you see the record, every record has department ID, you see the value on the department ID. So we have two situations. So right now, like what we are doing is, like we want to retrieve, like all the data from the employee table, which has, like a we'll be looking which, like one of the records does not have the department. It doesn't, this employee Kimberly Grant does not have a department yet, but we are paying, like we are, his job ID is sales representative, and his we are paying him salary. Basically, when we are paying salary, that means it has to go from the accounts, but even though it doesn't have the department, like we want to show them. So when we say, like when we say, like select count star from employee, we'll see, like how many records we have on the table. We have 107 records on the employee table. So we will take it out, this one. So right now we join, like employee and department, right? So when we say, like when we see all the records, so right now we will be getting around, like 106 records. If you see now, we got, like 106 records, or you can write up, like so we are losing one of the record. The record is his employee ID is 178. If you see the employee ID equal to 178, you don't get it. So if you go here and see it 175, we will be not getting. But he is an employee in our organization. So far clear, guys?
Yes.
Stop me if you have any questions, or, like stop me, like if you're not getting, if it is confusing. Okay. So when we do equal join and he doesn't have a department, when a guy does not have a department, then we are not able to retrieve it. But he still have an employee and we are paying a salary. So we just want to get his information into the record as well. So what we are doing is select. So we will be using left or right outer join. We have to both functionality is the same, but depends on, like where we are showing the table name. So I'm saying, like select employee ID. I'll basically, like I'll be okay, that's fine. Comma department ID from I'm giving alias as E, as D, where so E dot ID equal to department ID. I'm giving a plus sign. This is a syntax. So why we are giving a like don't confuse, like this is a syntax, like as a equal join, how we are writing a equal join. Similar way, if you are talking about left outer join, so we will be retrieving all the records from the employee table. So this is a syntax, don't get confused. Suppose if you talk about, like left outer join, we will be giving the plus sign on the right side. So this is a syntax which is given by the Oracle, so don't get confused. So but what this does is, like what does this plus sign does is, whatever we have a table on the left hand side, that means this is employee, right? E indirectly does means the employee. So it will pull all the information from the employee table. So if you see now, like we will be getting 107 records. We should be getting 107 records. So when we see now, when we get the 107 records, but if you take out, like left outer join, we are doing an equal join. So when we do the equal join, basically you will be getting 106 records. So far clear? So the functionality of the left and or right outer join is basically it will be retrieving the other side of the table. Basically, it will retrieving one of the tables all the data and one of the table equal data. Suppose if we say department name, I want department name as well. So basically, the guy 107 does not have a department, right? So what's its number? 178. So 178 employee ID, it doesn't have a department name, right? So let's see, like, when we say outer join, I'm putting left outer join back. So when we run this query, so if you see, so if you see 178 should not have a department. So we have 107 records. If we go to the 178 guy, so it doesn't have the department ID and it doesn't have the department name, which is the case, right? Because it doesn't have the department name. So that's the reason we are getting the null value. But even though, like, we will be getting, and will be showing his salary as well. Let's say e dot. So far clear, guys, or you guys have any questions? If you see 178, we are paying him salary of 70,000, and but he doesn't have the department. You guys have any questions so far? So this is called the left outer join. Theoretically, we are talking left or right outer join, but theoretically we will be doing the same thing. Left and right outer join functionality is the same. Only the difference is the syntax, like, where we are getting, like, where we are at the table. Suppose if we are moving this way, suppose the same thing I want to go. This is called left outer join. So we are doing the same thing. Suppose, because we can write, we can do a join either side, like, anytime. So basically we are writing, because we want everything from the employee table, right? So this is called right out, because we are retrieving all the data from the right hand side. That's the reason, like, we are writing plus on the other side. The symbol, the syntax is different. We are writing the sign on the other side, other table side. Basically we will be doing the same. This is called the right outer join. We will be retrieving all the same thing. We will be getting the same thing. Basically, like, sometimes, like, you will be writing left or right on a different format. Then that's the reason, like, you will be having two things, left and right outer join. So you'll see, like, you'll be getting the 178, and this thing is so if you want to go for this thing, then now you won't get that, like, 178. If you see now, so see the 178, because we went for a equal join or inner join. So that's the reason, like, we are not getting the 178 record. So far clear, guys? Guys have any questions? So the fourth thing is full outer join. So basically, like, so as I said, we are not giving any like, any condition, any join, then it is called a Cartesian join, or it is called a Cartesian join, or like, a full outer join. So if you run this query now, you will be getting duplicate records. If you see now, so if you see now, like, you have like, 100 record, almost like, almost like, 27 records. So what we are getting is one record, as I said, like, it is a factorial. Like, if you have like, left hand, suppose right now 107 records are on the employee table, right? Let's see how many records on the department table. So now if you see now, we have 27 records. So what full outer join does is, it will take one record from the employee table and matches every record from the department table. We have 27 records on the department table, right? So if you see now, you will see like, 100, 100, 100, Steven, salary is same, but we are displaying the department ID as a different thing. So if you see now, we have like, all the department listed, and we have all 27 records. If you see now, even for 101, we have 27 records. If you see now, see 27 records, 27 equal to 124. So for 102, 27 records. So basically what we get is like, 107 into 27. So if you see the count, or we can write count star as well. So we have 2,889. If you see now, if we calculate 27 into
107.
We have the same number of records. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
So we have 4 joins. I'm repeating again. We have 4 joins. One is an equal join, which we practiced it during the weekend, and we have the full outer join, and we have the left outer join. Both of the functionality is the same. Only is like, where like, which table you want to get the result. Like, how you want to get the result. Like, from right hand side of the table, if you want to get like, left hand, this is the employees on the left hand side, right? On the after equal, like, if you take this as a left hand, equal means we have an equal operator. Left hand is this table, and right hand is this table. So basically, if you want to retrieve all the data from the employee table, which is called the left outer join. Similar way, like, you can write the joins either of the side. That doesn't have any issues. So if you want to retrieve all the data from the employee table, then we will be writing like, right outer join. This is called the right outer join.
Okay, Ram, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, if I practice one joint perfectly, like it would be fine. I mean, either the left outer or right outer.
Yeah. One join, if you practice it, fine. That's fine. That's true.
Okay.
But in a real time scenario, you will be using both. But you can use either time, because it's not like you will be writing the code, right? Like you in a real time scenario, someone might have already written the code, and you have to use some scenarios like you have to reuse the code, or like you have to go and reuse the code. So at that time, theoretically, you should understand like how it is working. But how you are writing is like it's up to you. Like you can write right outer join, left outer join, like as long as the result, the data is coming in the required way, means as they expected, that is fine. Is that clear?
Yeah.
You guys have any questions on this?
No.
Okay, that's about the joins.
All the joins for like right, left, and the joins. What is the difference between those three?
Which one? Go on again. Which one you said?
Like you said, like right joins and left joins and the joins, right?
No, right join and joins is a different one. Like, forgot about joins. Like, all these four things are called joins. Equal join. So if you see, one second. So the joins is like, all these called like, inner join, equi join, right outer join, and left outer join. These four are like, Cartesian product is full outer join. Here I haven't. So let me write it down again. So we have a equi join, or you can call it as a inner join, okay, and left outer join. So all these four are called joins. Is that clear? First step. So all these four equi join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join is called the joins. So you are clear on the joins, right, Shambhavi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So second thing is like, equi join. Equi join is basically when you write like, equal sign, right, in between the tables. So if you want to both side of the table, if you want to retrieve the matching records, then you go for a equi join. Left outer join is basically like, if you want to retrieve all the records from the left hand side of the table, like, whatever you write it on the e dot, like, this is called the left hand side is, the other side of the equal, like, so equal, right? We have a equivalent operator, right? This is called the left table, because we are joining on the left hand side. On the the table is on the left hand, and this is called the right hand. So basically left and right. You after equal, like, you have left and right. So the left hand so the left hand side is like, whatever we are returning the table on the left hand side, like, whatever whichever table is there on the left hand side, basically we are retrieving all the data from the table and matching records from the right hand side of the table. But when we write the symbol, like, plus symbol, it is little confusing. I don't know why they have gone this is doesn't make any sense as well. But when they design like that, they have designed like this. So left outer join, when you say left outer join, the plus symbol is on the right hand side. This is
Is this the
syntax.
only way we can write the joints?
Yeah, you can write it, or there is one more method, natural joins. So basically we don't have where condition here. So how we write is, so here like, employee table is my left outer join, right? Here you can clearly mention we have employee table and left outer join, and we have the department table, and we write it on we are joining on e dot. Basically we will be writing this same thing. So we will be getting the same results again. So we are clearly writing like, left outer join. This is more meaningful. It is more easily understandable. People will write this way as well, but very first, so when you see that one, then you will be having, the top one regularly people will use it. You have both like, both hand sides. Suppose if you see now here, you have 107 records, because all the data from the employee table is returning, and you see like, null value as well. So even right hand side, the same thing. So basically if we say like, you have to, basically you can write department as well, but there is no data. That's the reason I'm not going for it. So here doesn't matter on which side the equal sign is there, because it doesn't matter, because you can keep the same way, because sorry. So I'm writing right. I'm writing right. So if you say now, if you query now, you'll be having the same results. So if you see, you'll have the 178. And you'll be having 107 results. Is that clear, Harish?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, first time maybe it is little confusing, but if you understand the concepts, that the full outer join as well, we will be right. I'll write up this one as well. So it's the same thing. So we will be writing full, right? Doesn't matter which side the table is there, because we want to display all the records. So right and left doesn't matter here. So if you say now, if you say count star, we'll come on count star later, like just imagine, like we are counting. I'll explain you later, like how does it work, why I'm writing the column name at some time or something like that. So don't worry, there is another topic on that one, so I'll be covering, like here, like what we are doing is we're just doing the count. Okay, I think why it's not working. Sorry. I'll come on this one, like it should work. I should not have this one. I should not have, because we are not going for a join, so this should work. But basically this is how we write it, like full outer join means you will be writing the full outer, the whole syntax. I'll be coming on this one full outer join later. Okay, is that clear, guys? You guys have any questions?
If possible, can you put all the queries into a word file and send it to us?
Yeah, that's the reason. Whenever I found something interesting, the queries, I'm copying you on the chat. Is it to copy for you guys, or it's not that easy?
Like if you put it all everything in the word file and share it to us so that we all will get it time.
I'll put it in a shared drive same way. I'll store it every day on all the queries on that one. So just save it in there. Okay. So I'll put it in a shared drive so that you guys can have it. Okay. So okay. Okay, Pratik. So do you guys have any questions so far? So we'll move on to other topic, which is also like which is called the set operators. So basically set operators are like we have learned, like in the school days, we have a set operators: union, all, intersect, and minus. You guys are remembering anything, like you might have using like this kind of set operator. You might have heard about this topic, like set operators, sets. Yeah, so basically the set is also work the similar way, like what we used to like practicing, like if you want to union, like if you want, like only those records which both are similar on the both the tables, which are similar on the both tables, then we used to write union. We have a circle and just we'll be getting only on the like the intersection of those data. So we have a union, And basically set operators are so so if you want to so set operators also similarly work, most of the time it will work on the uh, similar way of equi join and minus, I mean depend on like scenario, left outer join or right outer join. Basically uh, this will give a better performance than the other operators. Basically if you want to consider any time the performance, then we will be using the union operator. At the same point of time, if you want to eliminate any duplicates in that scenario as well, we will be using the set operators. So why we are using, if you have two set of the things, we will become late, I mean we'll discuss that one later. But very first thing we need to understand is what is each of the operators we are doing. We can easily, I mean I can explain you, it's too much for you guys, why we are going, we have joints as well, why we are going for union operator, means the set operators. So it has its own significance. There is some reason behind it, but it is too much for you guys right now to get on why we are going for it. But right now just understand the concepts, and then we will just try to utilize, because we have some additional functionality available, then we have to utilize it. So basically union operators are when you have a multiple set of the queries, we have two queries. And basically if you want to get between common records between these two queries, then we will be writing the union operator. So basically, and as well as, so when you're talking about we are writing two queries, right? One is select one, this is alias, and from dual, this is one of the example. We can write in a different way. Okay, so when we say select one number from dual, and select 5 from dual, so basically this should, the both the columns on the side, it should be same data type. You guys are familiarized on the data types, right? You understand the data types, right? You guys have any questions on that one?
No.
Okay, so basically the columns of if you have you can have on the select column, you can have 3 or 4 columns as well. But the column should but top query and the column after the union query on the both the select, you should have the same data type. Otherwise it will throw error. It will basically throw error vora 01790. This is one of the errors. Basically it should have, the basic understanding thing here is it should have the same data type. So this is about the union. Basically what does it does is union, oh, I forgot. So union, what does the union does is basically if you have a common records between those two tables, I mean common data between those two tables, then getting, we'll be writing means we'll be writing union. So basically what will happen is, suppose we have select 1 5 3 and 6 and 3. Suppose 3 and 3 we are repeating twice. But what does union does is if it is two records, two records which has a common value, then it will eliminate it, because union is basically if it is the same record, same set, then it will eliminate one of the it will eliminate the duplicate value. Basically what does it do is basically it will eliminate the duplicate value. Suppose if we have a 3 here and we have 3 here, so it will eliminate the duplicate and just put only 1 3 and just get the results. So basically what does the union does is basically it will give the only common between those data, common between those values, and just give it put it the data. So that's about the union. You guys are clear on the union, right?
Yes.
So basically this is a similar of the set operator, what we used to do in school days. So the set operators union means it's a common, means if it is a common values between the two sets, right hand side and left hand side, then we'll be writing the union. So the union all will also work almost the same way, but the only difference between the union and union all is basically we will be getting all the values. Even doesn't matter, like even if it is a duplicate, we have a duplicate of 3 here and 3 here. What it does is, like it will be displaying 15363. Like it will display all the records. Union all means it will display irrespective of the data, means it will display even the duplicate, all the records from both the queries, because this is select 1 from dual is a one query and select 5 from dual is a second query. It will be retrieving all the values. Similar way, like intersect is basically, like if it will display only the set of the value, means only the common value between the between the queries. Suppose in this case, when we write, like intersect in select 1 from dual and select all, means intersect select 5 from dual, what it does is, the intersect means only the common value between these two is the 3, right? So it will display 3. We'll be practicing that, like we'll see, like how it works. But intersect is, like common values between the two queries. Basically it's between the two queries. That's about the intersect. And minus also work the same way, like it will take the precedence of the first call, I mean first query, and if you write, like if you have 1 2 3 4 and minus of, like if you have on the second hand side, select 1 2, if you have, like then what it does is it will minus those two records and display, like it will minus 1 2 and it will display only 4 and 5. I'll show you, like on the example, like how the union operator works.
Can you explain minus again?
Minus is what basically does is, like it is similar to, it will work similar to general minus. If you have on the one of the table, if you have 1 2 and 3, and on the second query if you have 1, then it what we get, it 1 2 3 minus 1 2 3 minus 1, then it does is 2 3, it will display 2 3. So basically, like it will minus the matching record.
Okay.
So union work, like it will be eliminate the duplicate matching records, right? If it is
Yes.
matched between the two queries, it will eliminate the matching record. So let's see, like how it works. Suppose we have a department ID from employee table, right? Yes, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So so we have a department, and the second one is we have, like department ID from department table, departments table, right? So the first thing is, like it should have the both the first thing, to use a set operators, both things should have, like that the data type should be same. So we'll go and see, like what it has a data type. Let's say, so if you go to the employees, so we have a department ID and we have the data type as number. Even doesn't matter if it is 4 or 6, it will still work it, but it should have even other table, the department table. If you are doing the set operators, it should have the same data type, like if you say department, so it should, like here, like number, and 4 is a precision, like that's fine, like even if it is a number, that works. So we have both the same, both data type as the same, so we can use the set operators on this one. Suppose if you want to union, like we'll see. So when we write union, so if you say select employees, so you will be getting 107 records, right? You will be getting all the records, right? So all 107, we have 107 records on the table, on employee table, and we'll be getting all 107 records. Similar way, like we have 27 records on the department table, right? So what union does is, basically it will eliminate the duplicate and retrieve only one value. So even like on the department table, on the employee table, we have numerous 10 value, like if you see 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, you see 90, like 390s, we have down as well so many 90s. So basically what it does is like it will eliminate all the duplicates and just display only 90. So between common values between the this one. So what it does is when you run this query, it will should return only 27 records, including null as well. Like it will be retrieving the 20, because null is also considered as a value so on the database. So that's the reason it will be displaying 28 records. So if you run the individual, like if you run individually, basically what it does is we will be getting like 107 records on the employee table, and if you on this one 27 records. But if you write a set operator, basically union is a set operator. What it is doing is like it will be retrieving only the it will eliminate the duplicates and retrieve only one value. So far clear, guys?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, that's about the union. And the second one is the union all. So union all, basically what it does is, doesn't matter how it is, it will just retrieve the all the values between the top query and bottom query. It will retrieve all the data from 107. We have 107 records on top query, and we have 27 records on the bottom query. Then it will be returning all the records. Union all means. So if you see now, so 127 plus 107 plus 27. So 134. So you will be having 134 record. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
So union all, like the union all minus and intersects, what it does is basically it will work similar to like what we did, I mean in the childhood days, like what in the school days what we have is the set operators, right? It will work the same way, but it will work on a queries. It will work between the two queries. Instead of like one query, we will be writing two queries. That's all. Like two or many. You can have like one more union as well in between. So that's about that's union and union all. The second thing is intersect. So if you have the same query, so when we say intersect, so basically intersect, what it does is like it will be retrieving only the common values. So it will be retrieving the common values between the two tables, two queries basically. So if you see now here, you don't have null on the department table, right? You don't get null. You'll be get, so if it, you don't have other as well. Okay, let's say like now. So basically what it is doing is like it will intersect. What it does is like common between the two tables. So if you say now, so common between the two tables is these values. Okay, we will go and see like employee table. It should have only on the employee table, it should have only like either of 20, 30, like 10, 20, 30. If you see now, so if you go here, you have 10 value, we have 20. You see all the listed 50. You should have 40 as well in between. We have 40, we have 50 and 60, 70, 80. If you see now, like we have 60, we should have 70, 80, and so whatever the listed here, like 80, 90, 100 and 110. So if you see here 90, 90, 110. So if I run the top query, it has only like these departments, 107 records. And if you see here now as well, like it it will have like common value is like this 10, 20. If you see like all these values, whatever listed here, it will be same. So basically what intersect does is common value between the two queries. So whatever the common values between the two queries, it will be retrieving that. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
So basically set operators works between the two queries, but similar way what we have like done in the childhood days, like in the school days. What?
Ram, I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
What would happen if I take the employment ID in employees and department ID in departments?
So
Will the
basically, yes, even it does. If it is the same data type, it does work. But so let's say, see like we'll see like what data type it is. So department ID is number 4, and if you go to the employee table, employee ID is number 6. Yes. So if you write up, so it does work, like it will retrieve. But here also like it does work the same way. Oh, I write minus. Okay.
Why only employee ID is displaying here?
No, it displays department ID. I'll show you. If you go down, it will display employee ID as well. Don't worry. See, if you see 10, if you see on the employee ID, you don't see employee ID. So let's suppose, so that's a department ID. So if you see now, we don't have a 10 department, right? 10 employee ID, right? But here, like when you run this query, you have 10. You got it? So even if it is the same data type, it does not matter for this. So it will, but the column name it is displaying as employee ID. Whatever the top value it should display, but doesn't mean like it doesn't display department ID, because even 10 is a department ID. So usually to have the meaningful name, as we say like we should give it some meaningful, because this scenario does not exist. That's the reason we don't know, but that's the reason I didn't explain you. But usually we will be doing this operation between the same column data, same value of the data, same even the column name is different, same meaningful data.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
So if you say test, something like that, like just any name you can give it, it will be displaying as test. But this is a name, this is just a name. So that's about like intersect, and we were discussing about the minus. So when we say minus, basically all the department IDs whatever here we have listed on the employees, so all 107 records here, minus all the departments from the department table. Basically we don't have null on the department table. What it is doing is like it will display just null value. So it does work the same way like how minus work for the set operator. Maybe it is confusing for you guys, but set operators work similar way like how mathematical set operators work. Basically if you, so we have four operators available in database. So one is a union, second one is a union all, and third one is intersect and minus. So these operations we can do using the joins as well. If we want to retrieve the same kind of the data, we can retrieve using the using the joins as well. Equi-join, we have 4 joins, right? Equi-join, then as well as left outer join, right outer join, and the fourth one is full outer join. It will work the similar way, but so union all is basically a full outer join, we can say, because it does the functionality. But this has given for the performance issues, like but this is one another set, but we should know this one in real-time environment. We will be using this as well, like